going, Scrub Gamers? Welcome back to another video here at Scrub Games, and today we have another in our Understand How to Build series, where we go over each of the leaders in a given set, so you can help you understand how to build them to suit you and your playstyle best. Now we've done the villainy side of Command, and now we're on to the heroic side, and starting off with the first of the two leaders being Boba Fett. So, before we get into the video of helping you understand how to build it, feel free to like, comment, and subscribe. It helps the channel out greatly, and also by clicking the notification bell, you can get alerts to when my videos do drop, so you can watch them there and then, or at a time that suits you best. Now, without that out of the way, remember with this series that we do not offer lists, we do not give out lists. If you're looking for a list, unfortunately you will not find one here. But if you are looking for information and help on how understand how to build it to best suit you, then stay tuned while we go over Boba Fett. So, like we've done with all of the leaders in this series, we like to go over the leader first to kind of help you understand what it wants to do. Because while some are generic, some are more like themed focused, might focus with a certain theme or some gimmick. And before you want to kind of build anything, you need to understand what the leader does, so you're building it correctly and to benefit the leader. Otherwise, you might be running the wrong leader for what you want to do. And for Boba Fett, he is one of the two leaders that has a second leader in the set. So we had both Boba Fett and Han Solo have a leader in set 1 and also have a leader in set 2, but in different aspects now. And Boba Fett transfers over from Cunning to Command for set 2. Now this is him from the Boba Fett series, so like the Book of Boba Fett. And that's why he's a little bit different, because you'll see he only has, for this version of his leader, he only has the Underworld trait. He no longer has Bounty Hunter, just Underworld, and he has the subtitle Daimo. So for this Boba Fett, he gives you access to the Command and Heroic aspects, which are the green and white. And these are relevant because, given the aspects on a given card, you can incur aspect penalty if any don't match. Because if you didn't know, you can play any card in your deck, you can put any card you want in your deck and play any card, but when it comes to actually playing the cards, if any aspects don't match from the card to what's on your leader or base, you have to pay an aspect penalty. And the aspect penalty is basically extra 2 cost to the card's actual cost for each aspect doesn't match. So, for example, if you went with a blue base of Vigilance with Boba Fett, you'd have access to the aspects green, green, white, and blue, which would be Command, Heroic, and Vigilance. Now, if you wanted to play a card that was either just green, just blue, or just white, or even white, green, or white, blue, you'd have those aspects matching on the leader and base, so you wouldn't have to worry about aspect penalty, you just pay for the cost on the card. But if you wanted to play, say, a yellow card, because yellow doesn't match what's on your leader or base, you'd have to pay an extra 2 on top of it, so a 3 cost would then be a 5 cost. And if you want to play a blue-black card, so a yellow-black card, being a cunning and villainy one, because neither of those two aspects match, you have to pay an extra 2 per aspects. So if the card was a 3 cost and both those aspects didn't match, you have to pay an extra 4 resources, meaning that instead of paying 3 like you normally would if you had the aspect matching, you pay an extra 7 just to pay that 3 cost card out. So do bear that in mind when playing cards or trying to put cards in, because while some cards are worth paying the aspect penalty, like paying an extra bit, not all of them are. Now for Boba Fett, he is also a leader that doesn't deploy too late, deploys at 6, so a little bit later than his older leader. But he comes out with the same stats, 4 power and 7 health, which is very good. And he's all about keyword skills, because when he's in the leader area, his effect is when you play a unit that has 1 or more keyword skills, and keyword skills are, keywords, and keywords are always the ones that are in bold, red and bold, so things like raid, ambush, things like that. We'll go over some of the ones you can get. And so when you do play a unit that has 1 or more keywords, you can exhaust this leader, and if you do, you give a friendly unit +1 power for this phase. You give it something an extra boost. Doesn't have to be the same thing you play, but it could be something else that you control. Now, when he is deployed, his effect's a little bit different, where now you don't have to worry about playing something or even arresting him to do something. It's now each of a friendly unit that has 1 or more keywords gets +1 power. So if anything's got a keyword on it, on your board, its power increases by 1, but it does not count itself. So while he isn't as impressive as the leader for set 1, like nothing could be impressive, he was a very good leader for set 1, he's a pretty nice one because he gives you access to the Command and Heroic traits, and also he's still Boba Fett, so he gets access to the cards that like require Boba Fett or affect things that are Boba Fett, and also has some benefit to Underworld in the Heroic side. Not only that, he also does have a showcase leader, and really, it might like once again, showcase is are like just different alternative arts, and art is always subjective. So if you don't like it, that's fine. If you do like it, it's fine. If someone doesn't like it but you like it, it's absolutely fine. Like art is subjective; it's down to personal preference. And while I feel that there's half the leaders have good showcases and half of them have quite poor ones. Boba Fett, in my opinion, comes in one of the poor ones. Like why it doesn't do too bad. It isn't anything really that different from the normal leader, and you'd expect it to be a little bit different, a bit more detailed. Like if you look at some of the other ones, like Hondo, you can see a clear difference, and yeah, that's just what I'm looking for. But if you do like it, it is you could like it. So that's a showcase, and then we also have different examples of some of the different traits. So you can get cards that have multiple keywords and some like not traits, keywords have multiple keywords or even just useful ones. And as you can see, any of the like keywords are always the ones that are in bold and red. So you got things like raid, resource, ambush, overwhelm, smuggle. You got ones that aren't on here like sentinel. You have saboteur. I think I'm not sure if there's many other ones. I'm probably forgetting some, but yeah, like there's loads of keyword skills, and they're all in bold and red. So anything that's got the bold red text there with one of the like a skill, even smuggle, it gains an extra +1 or can gain a +1 for Boba Fett. So different ones, like all the different aspects of stuff that you can make use of with Boba Fett. Not only that, but you can play thanks to having a base. You can have basically different aspect combinations, and the different aspect combination you can have depend on what's your leader at base. So with your leader, Boba Fett, he gives you the heroic trait, so the white trait, and the command trait, green. And with a base, you can have a different one of 4 different combinations because the heroic and villainy aspects are unique to like leaders. Like all leaders will have one, either be on the dark side or light side. I have one of those, but the bases currently are only just one aspect. So if you have a blue base, you have access to green and blue, so vigilance included. If you have a command base green, you have double greens. You have access to all green cards plus the cards that have double green. Because remember, each aspect provides one in that aspect, not doesn't cover all of them. If you have an aggression base, you have access to green red. If you have a cunning base yellow, you have access to green yellow. So before we go into the different benefits of these aspect combinations and which one, like what probably ones suit you best or ones are better, let's just go over the ratios quickly. Because in this game, you can have up to 3 copies of a given card. So you can have 3, 2, or 1 copies of a card, and there are benefits to having certain amounts of each. So with 3 copies of a card, these are normally ones where you want to see as many as possible, as quickly as possible, or see it as early as possible to use it straight away. So a good example would be resupply. If you're playing a green deck, you normally want to kind of ramp because that's the whole identity of green command is ramping. So resupply, you might want to see this as early as possible in your resources. When you get to turn 2, you can play it as soon as possible to increase your resources and kind of ramp up so you can start playing bigger things quickly. So this is usually a card you will run at 3, and a perfect example of that. Then there's other cards like Spark Rebellion. These are ones that are more like specific or like either specific to a kind of turn play, like either you want to see later or like in a certain situation, or even cards that are high costing that you don't want to see too early or have clog your hand too early with too many copies you have less copies of. So like Spark Rebellion is a pretty good example where you can have it at 3 or you can have it 2, but usually it's a card that you want for certain kind of things, like either like trying to go for a hand control route, or even just later in the game, kind of take out cards your opponent might have that you don't want them to play against you, to prevent them from doing something you don't want to. So having 2 copies of card means you won't see it you won't potentially see it early, or too many early, so you can see them when you want them. And then for 1 copy of cards, they're normally tech choices. And Crate Dragon is kind of the example we're going for with the tech choice, where it's usually a card that could be good in certain match, like a specific kind of matchup, but not a lot of matchups, just like very like niche ones, or ones where if you do see it, it could be very well, but then you don't want to see it because it can kind of clog and not be great in most ones. So usually you have 1 copy of a card, so that way if you do see it, you need it, you have it there. If you don't see it, you don't need it, then you don't have to worry about it. If you do see it but you don't need it, you can resource it. And if you do need it but don't see it, then it's just tough luck there, isn't it? But that is hopefully explained and helped you understand what the ratios are, like when you want 3, 2, or 1 copies of a given card to help you out there when it comes to building. Now that we've got all that out of the way, let's go ahead and check out kind of what the aspect combinations we have and what the benefits of each of them are. So let's start off with the double aspect, because This is one that with set 1 was very limited, because where you'd have access to 2 aspects, so if you had green and blue, you'd have access to the green cards and the blue cards, giving you a very big card pool. In set 1, by going double aspect, you sacrifice a whole different aspect of cards, or like a load of cards for a big card pool, to have access to just 3 double aspect cards along with the evergreen cards you have. Now, it'll give you a very limited card pool, so much that only really one leader in each aspect really had a good benefit of going double aspects, where most of them just didn't bother. But for set 2, now we've got double the card pool and double the amount of cards in each different aspect. You can now easily go into any leader have a good chance of going double aspect, because you've got a wider card pool than before. And now with each with each aspect, you have access to a base. You have access to the 30 health bases, and set 2 didn't provide us with any rare bases, so we only 1 rare base per color, and basically a lot of different scenes of like the skills base, and you got either 30 health bases, which are all the other ones that have 30 health but no effect, or you've got the rare base, which has 25 health, so 5 less health, but the sacrifice of that 5 health gives you an epic action. And for green, it is Energy Conversion Lab, which is one of the most overused and most popular bases in the game, because it's got a great epic action where you can play a unit that costs 6 or less from your hand and give it ambush for its phase. Now this pairs very well with Boba, because you can be able to give something a +1, because it's ambush is a keyword, and also you get to play a card using ambush, which ambush allows you to, when you play a card, you can ready an attack an opponent unit, not base a unit, the same turn it's played. But normally if you place a card that comes in rested, it can't attack. But with ambush, it allows you to ready an attack opponent's unit the same turn it's played. I do note, while you are playing this card, you're not playing for free. You do still have to pay the cost, so you do have to pay the cost of the card. You don't get to play it for free. So do that bear in mind, but it's a very good one, because once again, ambush is a very good skill and it goes very well with Boba. Now, with the double aspects as well, for set 1, you had access to General Krill, Attack Pattern Delta, and Command, which are 3 different the 3 double command cards you had in set 1. But really, General Krill was quite frail for what it does, and Attack Pattern Delta wasn't as great, given that it needs 3 cards on board to kind of use, and wasn't great given what the limited card pool that Green had. But Command was one of the better options, and one of the kind of reasons to go double Command, because it was one of the 3 cards that allow you to ramp, so you give you the maximum amount of ramp if you go with that. So you have that, because you had one in the villainy side and just a normal with resupply, and then you had command. So if you weren't villainy, double command was the best way to get maximum ramp, because you have command and some resupply. And not only that, it gives you some good options, because you can choose 2 of any 4 options on it, and every aspect had one of these 4 cost events that was named after the same one, giving you 2 choices of 4 options. So along with the ramping, which is the third one on it, being put this event into play as a resource, you can either give 2 experience to a unit, allow a friendly unit to deal damage equal to its power to an enemy non-unique unit, or return a unit from your discard pile to your hand. So very versatile, powering up something while also ramping, or even ramping while to get something back from the drop was really good. The doing damage is good, but the problem is it doesn't help against unique units, which is what all leaders are, and a fair few strong units you want to take down. So it's a very good card, not the best, but a very good option, and even better use for the second set. And in the second set, you got 3 new additions. You got double the amount of double green cards, and you got the Unit Enterprise Unlikelies, which is a card you can smuggle in for 6 and double green. So, and it's normally a 4 cost 5/5, but also it's got a when defeated to allow you to constantly smuggle it in. Where if you can defeat a friendly resource, and if you do put this card into play as a resource when it's defeated, so you can always, when it's defeated, put back in resource. So you've always got that card to smuggle out if you ever need it. You've also got Enforced Loyalty, being a 2 cost event, allows you to defeat a friendly unit, and if you do that, draw 2 cards. So a nice way to kind of draw more. And then you've got Endless Legions, being the most expensive card in the game now, being a 14 cost event. And it's very strong because it allows you to reveal any number of your resources and play each unit revealed this way for free. Now, if you're playing double green, you've got access to command. You're basically in green, so you're in ramping colors. So you're going to kind of try and ramp up as quickly as possible. And this is a card where it could be very handy against the control mirrors. And also, if you there will be people trying to make make use of the gimmick and basically just putting in a load of big units that you can't really play normally, so they can charge it and then ramp as quickly as possible, so you can end this legion out a whole huge board of all these amazing units, which can be very scary, very devastating. So that's the benefit of double green. Now you do limit yourself to just green, but there are with a second set a lot more options for green to kind of go for that better than you could set one. Now the other aspects we got is vigilance. So for vigilance, the rare base, so you think got the same thing when you got the bases with 30 health but no skills, and then the rare base for blue is security complex. This gives you the epic action of give a shield token to a non-leader unit. So a one-time use, because epic actions are just effects you use once a game, allows you to put a shield token on a unit, meaning you get a protection, meaning that what shield does is the next time it would take damage, it loses the shield instead. So it protects with damage once. And you've got some really nice cards as well. Like, remember, Boba Fett gets the benefit of things that have skills. You've got things like Restored Arc, which have Restore, which heals when it attacks, and a pretty good early unit. Concord Dawn being a very good space unit, and a Sentinel as well. So Sentinel means it gets more power, and it even gets more power because when it's attacked, when it's defending, it gains 2+ power and pretty good stats for a free cost. Then you've got some bigger units like the Mandalorian, Luke Skywalker, and Chewbacca, all with skills where the Mandalorian is a Sentinel, meaning you have to attack this before you can attack every unit in the same arena or base. Luke with the Restore 3, and then Chewbacca with both Smuggle and Grip. And these are big units that have big effects, like the Mandalorian can heal, can choose the unit costs 2 or less, heal it, and give it 2 shield tokens, so it's got extra protection. Luke can minus something by 3/3, and if you lost the unit that same phase, then you give it minus 6/6 instead. And then Chewbacca comes down when it's played. You defeat a unit with 5 or less remaining HP, and it comes down with grits, and the more damage it takes, the bigger it gets. And they're all very high costing ones, but very good stats and effects. Now on the normal side of blue, you've got a lot of blues. I forgot what I got to say as well. I keep forgetting slightly about this, but when it comes to having any of the aspects, you can have benefits, and the aspects all have their own kind of like way to play. And for which one is it? This is villains, isn't it? Yeah. For vigilance, you is all about playing defensively with the ability to heal, remove dangerous threats from play, and protect your base from attacks. And is a perfect aspect for players who want to be patient when playing and endure attacks, and then come out from grind out to overcome with resources, like with advantage. So if that's kind of appeals to you for blue, then just go for it, because with the whole easy remove things from play with effects, you have multiple events like Takedown, Fellow Dragon, and Rival's Fall, which are like events that allow you to just take something out. Like Takedown can defeat anything 5 or less remaining HP. Fellow Dragon can defeat anything with 5 or more power. That's a non-leader. And Rival's Fall can defeat anything for 6. You also got some pretty nice units as well. You got Roaster Tree Tender being a free cost with Grit. So the more damage it takes, stronger it gets. And you got Cargo Juggernaut as well, comes with shielded, so it comes in shielded, and then gets the benefit from Boba Fett because of the shielded keyword. And if you control another vigilance unit, you get to heal 4 damage to your base, so a bit of healing there. So if you like more grindy games, blue is a very good way to play. The next one we got is Aggression. Now, before I forget, aggression is kind of like what it sounds like, is a very aggro aspect. Because what it wants to do is attack with a maximum efficiency and deal loads of damage. And is a great aspect that fits people who want to play fast-paced, very quick playstyles that break through defenses and just hurl damage basically at your opponent and the board by normally basically just damaging stuff with effects or attacks, or even just throwing damage at your opponent's base to just win as quickly as possible. So that is the basic summary of what aggression is. And it does come with very nice effects as well, because you've got the rare base for aggression, being Tarkin Town, where this epic action allows you to deal 3 damage to a damaged non-leader unit. So you'll notice a lot that the effects of the rare base don't really affect the leaders, but Tarkin Town doesn't just throw out free damage on something for nothing. That would be a bit too good. But if you do try to take something out and just fall just quite short, Tarkin Town's there to help you and kind of finish them off. So a very good unit there. And also, the heroic side of red has a lot of good units, good cheap units, because it's a very aggressive side, because the heroic side is more aggressive, where the dark side is more controlling. So you have some very good units like Grease Watcher and A-Wing and Red 3 for like very cheap space units, and then like K2SO and Wrecker for very good ground units as well. And while they also have very good stats, like both Green Squadron, A-Wing, and Red 3, they have good amount of health for free for their cost, and while they don't hit too hard when they're attacked, they do have a raid, which once again gets a benefit from Boba Fett, and also as well as that, they gain more power. So the Green Soldier alien's got raid 2, so it swings for free. And then same with raid 3, red 3 does the same thing, so gets raid 1, so it swings for free, but also gives all ever friendly heroic units raid 1, so you can make all the rest of your heroic units stronger. You have K2SO as well, which is a 4/4 for a 4 cost, has Overwhelm, so it gains the boost from Boba, and also when defeated, you can either make your opponent take 3 damage to their base, or make him discard a card, depending on your options. And then Wrecker also has Overwhelm, so it has that boost. Very good stats at a 7/6 for a 6 drop, and when you do play it, you can defeat a friendly resource, and if you do, deal 5 damage to a ground unit, which is very nice. You also have Heroic Resolve, which is a pretty nice one, which allows you to kind of give anything that doesn't normally have a keyword thanks to its effects. There's a 1-cost upgrade that gives you a 1/1 boost, but then it's not just a 1-cost upgrade that gives you a 1/1 boost, but as an effect that you can kind of use later on in the game, which is an action which allows you to pay 2 and defeat a Heroic Resolve on a unit, so a copy of itself or another copy of itself on a card, or on the same card. And then it allows you to attack with that unit, give it extra 4 power for that attack, and Overwhelm, so that way it gets the boost from Boba, and Overwhelm allows you to do any excess damage from a unit when it's defeated to your opponent's base. So if you attack a unit and gets +4 on, say, like a Wrecker, which makes it 11, or even, no, sorry, on a like Grease Watch and A-Wing, it gains the +4 power, plus at raid 2, that's like 7 damage attacking, and say a unit you defeat with it has 4 health, there's 3 damage left over, and that will go to your opponent's base. Not only that, but you have the non-dark side of aggression as well. So you have some pretty nice units. Like you have Persistent Insurgent, once again, has a raid written on it. So, it doesn't. You basically, you got another red unit, it gains raid, so it gets the benefit from Boba, where you got another red unit. You got Warfare, which prevents people from healing when it's played or attacked, and has Saboteur, so it gets a benefit from Boba. You have Clan Challenges as well, which has raid 3, gets a benefit from Boba, and also has Overwhelm if it's upgraded, which means any excess damage is pierced through to your base. And you have Crate Drag as well, a very high costing unit for red, 9 cost 10/10, but when your opponent plays a card, you can deal damage equal to that card's cost to either their base or ground unit they control. So your opponent plays a big unit, you can do a lot of damage to your opponent's base or to a ground unit. And you also got Infiltrator skill, which you can use to give cards a keyword, because when it's attached, it gains Saboteur, which is a keyword, which then gives the unit the benefit from Boba. So that's aggression. So if you're interested in a very aggressive playstyle, aggression is a very good one for you. And then the last one we have is Cunning. So Cunning is a pretty nice one. It's not got the best base though, because it's got Jeddah City, and his epic action gives a non-leader unit -4 power for the phase, which means you're weaken something, so it can't do as much damage to you, or it does less damage when you're taken out when it fights back. Not only that, you have some pretty nice units like Omega here, which is a pretty good one to help you to find find your clones. So help you find like things like Wrecker, Tech, Wolf, and stuff like that. Like there's not too many clones at the moment, but there are a fair few. You've even got some in like lower cost and are like unique ones. But you can use this as a good way to find it and allow you to like play those clones, not worrying about the aspect the first time. And it's a nice little turn 1 play you can play as well. You also got Rogue Operative, which is a very nice one, because it comes down with both Saboteur and Raid 2, so it gets a benefit from Boba, and it's kind of hitting hard for its cheap cost. And you got Han Solo, and this is a nice one because it gives Ambush, so it gets the benefit from Boba. Plus, when attacking a unit, it deals combat damage before the defender. So even though if like 6 damage is a little bit off, 7 damage is fine because Boba gives it that extra +1 because it's got Ambush as a keyword, which means Han Solo can do a little bit better with Boba than it could on his own. You also got some very good events like Spark Rebellion, as we saw, which is a nice little 2-cost event. And you look at your opponent's hand, rip a card out of it. So a bit of hand control, just taking out something your opponent has and getting the hand knowledge, and you can use it as early as turn 1. And you even got Nectar Wookiee Win, which is a very nice one for late game. This one allows you to gives your opponent a choice. They either let you untap 6 resources, which if you're paying 2 to untap 6, that's good. Or the other option is allow you to ready a unit. And if it's a Wookiee unit, you can attack with it straight away and give it 2+ power for that attack. So your opponent's either letting you attack a unit so you can attack again, or untap 6. That are either letting you have more resources to play something, or have more another attack with a unit, which is pretty horrible decision to have put on you by your opponent. Not only that, but we have the non-yellow, well, the non-light side of yellow, and you've got a fair few units that have traits. Most of them have Ambush, as you can see. And you got like Outer Rim Headhunter, which is quite a nice one, gets a boost from Boba, and also gets more benefits the longer Boba stays out. Because if you control a leader unit and you attack with it, you get an exhausted non-leader unit. So that's pretty good there. You got things like Cloud Rider and Chain Code Collector, which allow you to ambush, and even Chain Code Collector allows you to get a little bit of a bonus where if you have a bounty, if the defender has a bounty, it gets -4 power for that attack, but you can survive a little bit easier. Syndicate Lackeys is just a card with ambush, very good, nice card. Just come out in a ambush and get stronger thanks to Boba. And Boba even has his own upgrade in command in Boba Fett's armor, which is a very good one. Because not only is it a cheap costing 2 cost that gives 2/2 to the stats, so making him a 6/9 then, but also it allows it where if the unit is Boba that you attach it to, any damage that would be dealt to him is prevented. You prevent 2 of that damage. So if you would take 2 or less damage while it's equipped to Boba, you take nothing. If you take any other damage that's higher than 2, it's reduced by 2 for whatever damage you dealt. So 3 would revert down to 1 damage, and it can make Boba a lot harder to kill or deal with by damage. So if you're interested in that, and also remember that I forgot to say, for the cunning aspect itself, it wants you to adapt to any situation on the fly with powerful immediate effects, and have lots of tools for disrupting your opponent's game plan. And this aspect is perfect for if you're a player who likes to respond quickly to threats or have an answer to anything your opponent might throw at you. And that is basically a good description of cunning. So if you're interested in cunning and like having options to almost anything your opponent wants to do or any kind of situation, then cunning is a good option. And not only that, but having Boba Fett's armor is a pretty nice one to go with it. Now also as well, you do have access to cards that are just heroic, and there are some pretty good ones with heroic side. Now they're mostly rebels for set 1, but in set 2 there are some ones that aren't so much focused on a certain theme that do have keywords that benefit Boba. Like you got Tech, which has smuggle, so you get a boost from Boba, and also gives you all your resources smuggle, so you can play stuff in your resources a little bit easier. Your Protector of Phone when upgraded against Sentinel, which gets a boost there. And you've got some Wookiees as well, like you've got Wookiee Warrior, which has Grit, so it gets a boost, and also if you control Wookiee when it's played, you draw a card. And Tarful, which has Restore 2, giving you a bit of healing. And if you have a friendly Wookiee dealt damage and then survives that damage, you allow it to deal damage to equal to how much damage to an enemy ground unit that it took. And a whopping 9 health to 7 cost is pretty decent. Now you might be thinking, what do we get for Boba's skills? So what do we get Boba's aspects like just greed and the heroic side of greed? Well, you got some pretty nice ones. Like you get some pretty good units. Like you got Echo here with Restore 2, plus having a way to kind of give more cards experience, where you can discard a card when it's played and give 2 experience to a token to a unit in play with the same name as the card you discarded. So if you have multiple cards of the same card and you play this, you can kind of like use Echo to ditch another Echo to give itself a boost, or you can just do it to something else. Like if you've got something else in play, ditch an object copy of it from your hand to then give it a boost, which is quite nice. You've got General Raikkonen Home 1 being very good units that kind of provide you with some benefits, like General Raikkonen here. Very good stats for its cost. It's 6 cost 5/7. And when it's played on attack, you can choose a friendly unit, and if it has Sentinel, you give an experience token to it. Otherwise, if it doesn't have Sentinel, you give it Sentinel for the phase. So if you do this with ambush, like you can ambush it with some other cards, like ELC or Never Card Will See, you can do it both when be played and attacking at the same time, so it'll get triggered twice. You can even give it choose itself twice. The first time give it Sentinel, and the second time give it experience, making it then a 6/8. And then it's got Sentinel for the rest of that turn to make it so your opponent has to go through it before they get into your base or your other units in that arena. You even got Home 1, which is a very good unit, a space unit as well, 8/7/7. It gives you Restore 2, and all your other friendly units get Restore 1, so that while itself swings and heals you 2 from your base, all your other friendly units, once on board, swing and heal you 1 from your base. And when you do play it, you can play a heroic unit from your discard pile, and it costs 3 less. So anything that's 3 cost or less, you play for absolutely free. Anything higher is just reduced cost of 3. Not only that, you have some pretty nice ones like the heroic side of green finally has their own ramp card, but it's a bit more situational than the other ones. Because for 2 cost, it allows you to choose a unit in your discard pile, and if it was defeated this phase, you can put it into play as a resource. So you need something to be defeated, which is easy enough. You just ram it into one of your opponent's cards to defeat it and then ramp it. But outside of that, it basically is a bit more situational. You need something to have it die that turn, but you can easily do it yourself to then ramp. But it could be a cheap form of ramp, but it's not one you can just do on its own like the other cards. And then you have U-Ring Reinforcement, which is a very high cost event at 7, but allows you to look at the top 10 cards of your deck and play at the 3 units with a combined cost of 7 or less and play each of them for free. So you can either get one big 7 drop, you can get a 6 and a 1, a 5 and a 2, a 4 and a 3, or 2 2s and a 3. Basically, it's just spam the board with a load of units. It's a very good card and one of the most hyped cards, most probably one of the most overused events outside of 1/1 Barrage in set 1. And in the just normal side of green, the non-heroic side, you've got some pretty good units. So you've got Sorting Side Viper, where you've got an initiative that gives Restore 2, sorry. So it gains the benefit of having a keyword when you've got initiative, so that way Boba boosts it. You also got Callus here, which has Ambush. You can so once again boosted by Boba, and also whenever a unique unit is defeated, either yours or your opponent's, when it's on board, you draw a card and you can use it once around. And you got Artequin's Assault Cruiser, being a very big space unit of 8/7/8. With Ambush, you benefit from Boba getting a boost, and if it attacks and defeats a non-leader unit, you can put the defeated unit into play as a resource under your control. Not only that, but you have some good upgrades and events. You have Pricing Your Head being a good upgrade bounty, where the bounty is you ramp the top card of your deck, so you put on your opponent's card, take it out, ramp using this, or also to clear something from board. And then you have a Resupply being a card you can use just straight away to ramp, and one of the 3 you had for set 1, that's just straight up good ramp. So that is it for this one, for Boba Fett. So hopefully that's explained all the different aspects and what the benefits of them are, and how, like what benefits Boba has as a leader. And we're coming up to the last of the command ones. So the next one we have is going over Hunter. So if you're interested in that, stay tuned and watch. Otherwise, that is me done for today. I hope you enjoyed the video, and I'll catch you in the next one. Bye for now.
Like a boss.